Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Sports Senseis. I am your girl Sensei, of course, and we have a jam-packed show for you today. We have so many topics and things that we're going to get into via NBA because you know the NBA playoffs is going on right now. So you definitely know we got to talk about all things NBA playoffs, and we also got to talk about Jimmy Butler. We got to talk about Zach LaVine, all the news that's going on surrounding them, and we also got to talk about the reason I'm wearing this jersey because believe it, there's a reason. But anyway, without further ado, let's get the show started and bring my sisters and my co-hosts onto the show and get it cracking. Sports Sensei is coming to you live. Let's get it.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey,
What up,
hey.
what up, what up?
Hey, Jay Nicole and my girl Ruth the Truth. What's poppin', Sports Senseis, for another episode.
Excited to be here. Jay, thank you so much for letting me come on your radio show last night. Had a lot of fun with that. And yeah, there's a lot of NBA playoff madness going on. A lot of breaking news this morning that's surfacing that's going to be affecting these series upcoming. And yeah, I'm excited to be back with my ladies on another edition of the Sports Senseis.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even do that too much. I worked out this morning and that kind of hurt.
It's the jersey. It's the jersey. The jersey's crippling you already.
Ruth the Truth, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Ooh.
Shout out Pride. He's on the live, and trust me, Pride, I got Kevin DeFraud. We're gonna get into all that. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Said what I said.
Oh, not fired. That is how we are starting off the show today. Everybody that's in the comments, y'all were going crazy last week, and we appreciate all the love and everything that you guys had going on in the comments. So keep that rolling. If you guys are on Twitter, please give us a retweet. Let everybody know where to find their NBA playoffs conversation because it's right here with the ASAP Network family. If you guys are on Facebook, please smash that like button. Smash that share button because it goes a long way. So we appreciate everything. But ladies, are you ready to get today started?
Let's get to
Alana, Sensei. All right. Give us an explanation of why we are repping the LeBron James Lakers jersey that she had to put on backwards because there might be some people that don't know LeBron James rocks number 23. But I know who hasn't been wearing that jersey lately, and it's been LeBron James himself because the Lakers didn't even make the play-in tournament. I know everybody's loving all the videos that LeBron has been posting of him on the beach, having a great time, sipping his tequila with his Fiji water. Shout out to Fiji. I know they had to pay him some money to post that video.
They definitely did.
Oh, for sure. You already know. Every little thing they make money off.
Honestly, Ruth the Truth, and I'm glad. Yeah, Ruth, you are immature for that, but that's okay. We're gonna breeze right past that last part.
Which part am I? Because I mean, I said a lot. So.
I mean, you did, but it's just like you didn't have to remind me that he didn't make the play-in tournament. You didn't have to do that, but it's okay because
you reminded us with the jersey.
I did, and I did talk about your Clippers, so it's an eye for an eye. I get it. It's an eye for an eye. But once we get to the next Celtics topic, I will explain why this jersey is on because there is a reason. Trust me, it's gonna get good. Y'all don't want to miss this. But what we're gonna start with, as far as with topics. So there has been recent news today that Jimmy Butler is going to be out for the game tonight, because of knee soreness. Now I'll start with you, Ruth the Truth. What do you think about that news? Why do you think that that's happening? And is that something that could affect this series or potentially the next series? Because I believe we all think all know Miami is probably going to move on. Right. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first, is it a big deal? Kind of. I mean, you never really want to know or let the rest of the league know that you're dealing with some knee soreness because it's going to be a target, just like Joel Embiid is worried about that thumb that everybody wants to slap off his hand. So it shows a little bit of a weakness, but I mean, Eric Spoelstra knows what he's doing, the head coach for Miami. So if he's going to sit out his superstar, his best player, I'm not gonna say anything towards that because you are going against the Atlanta Hawks, who you obviously have a clear advantage of. I think the series is 3-1 right now. I think Atlanta was able to sneak one game out of from the Miami Heat, so maybe they just know that Jimmy Butler needs some rest before this knee soreness gets any worse and it becomes like a serious thing that is going to hamper him later on in the playoffs. So I'm not mad at it. If Jimmy Butler wants to sit down for one game, let him do so. I think he's, doing the best for his body, but I do have a sense that Miami might be exaggerating how he's injured just for the simple fact that they want to rest their superstar. But Can't blame him for that. I mean, you pay the man a lot of money. He's got to be available this late in the playoffs. So do what you got to do, Miami. I ain't mad.
What about you, Jay? What are your thoughts, sis?
Yeah, Jimmy Buckets, soreness. I hate to see it. I wanted them to go ahead and close this series out tonight. Not saying they still won't, but ice cold, was it Ice Tray, right? Like, I don't know. When I'm like, you gotta be a little worried. You can't have our best player out and now their best player in, and I'm like, you don't want to give the Atlanta Hawks any sign of life, right? And so, they're like, oh, they got their best player out. We can take this and get it going. So a little nervous about that. I still think, though, Miami will win the series overall. But, yeah, I mean, rest your body, because as we go into the second round, the third round, if this is something we can get worked out now, hey, go ahead and do that, and, we'll be good for the next series. So.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I hope silly. I hope that it's nothing like too serious. I do agree with Ruth a little bit, as far as like, I just feel like they are exaggerating it a bit just because they want to rest their superstar, because they know whoever they have to play next is going to be a tough out, and they're going to need Jimmy Butler to be on a completely different level. So I definitely think that definitely plays a part in it, and I don't think that they're that worried about Atlanta to be like, all right, we're gonna make sure Jimmy has to play this game so we can solidify this. I think that they feel comfortable enough to go out with the team that they have right now, and even if they don't win this game, they'll win the next game at home in Miami, and Jimmy will probably be back for that game. So I think it's just one of those things where they're kind of trying to Kawhi Jimmy a little bit and just like, let's just get him some extra rest or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be too serious. I hope it's not going to be too serious, because they definitely, if they're going to make any kind of moves in the playoffs, serious moves in the playoffs to make a deeper run, they're going to need Jimmy Butler. Like, he is the catalyst of that team. So hopefully that's not too serious. But moving on from him, there was the news about Zach LaVine. He's into health safety protocol in regards to, which we all know that's probably COVID related, as well as Alex Caruso is not going to be playing as well for the Bulls. Pride actually just put me onto that. So shout out to Pride, because you just told me that, because I didn't know that. But
is he hurt, or is it COVID as well?
I got to look. Like I said, I have to look it up, honestly, because I didn't even know that he wasn't going to be playing until Pride just mentioned it. So I'm not too sure. If somebody can somebody look it up right now?
He got a concussion. I remember at the end of the last game, he got hit in the face pretty bad, and he didn't return after that. So I guess he's in concussion protocol, which makes sense.
He just said,
concussion protocol. Shout out to everybody in the comments. We appreciate you showing the love.
Yes,
but so Alex Caruso and Zach LaVine are going to be out for the Chicago Bulls. So that means DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic have to have the most outstanding game to be able to overcome Bam Adebayo. They're without Jimmy Butler, so this is giving them a little bit of shed of light, but can they get it done, ladies? Missing Alex and Zach, which is two of their most prominent players?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm sorry, absolutely not. Because even with those guys, they were still struggling to compete with Milwaukee, even with those two guys available. So it's like, I would like to think that they could, but no, like, Giannis is, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Like, they still, because the Bucks are pretty much at full strength outside of Chris Middleton, and they need Chris Middleton to beat like
not for nothing, but I felt like they started playing better after Chris went down. Chris Middleton, he brings a great energy to the team, but they really stepped up. I guess they kind of huddled together and was like, hey, we're missing one of our starters, so we got to show the world that we ain't nothing less.
Absolutely. Like, they would need Chris Middleton to beat like the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, they got swept. I'm sorry. They would need Chris Middleton to beat the Celtics. They would need, you know what I'm saying, to beat the Bulls. It's not. Like I said, they were already dominating even with those guys. So that ain't gonna make a difference.
Yeah, game 3, a 30-point loss for the Bulls, then in game 4, a 26-point loss for the Bulls. So that was at home, y'all. Like, y'all are real people. So we're about to go back to Milwaukee. We're gonna finish.
It's over. Yeah, it's over with.
It's over.
It's over with.
My poor Bulls. Next season, though. There's next season. We're gonna have Alonzo Ball back. We're gonna have a new.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's gonna.
And we just need not to go against the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, and we'll be good. Yeah, we'll be good.
I felt so bad because I was really pulling for Chicago, but it was just really, really unfortunate that they dealt with some injuries that had them fall down to the 6th seed, and then Milwaukee kind of had a little hiccups where they ended up in the 3rd seed, and then they had to face each other in the first playoff round. Very unfortunate for Chicago, but Billy Donovan is a great NBA head coach, and I have a great feeling that they're going to have a great offseason. And I think this season has really put some confidence in their step, and they're really only starting to get started because, I mean, they got a whole new roster. They got Lonzo Ball, who was out for 38 plus games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was out for basically the whole entire season. Then you have Alex Caruso, who is coming off of a championship roster with the Los Angeles Lakers. And Nikola Vucevic is showing a little bit of light in that, center position, but he needs to stop shooting threes, in my opinion. So I think it's a bright future for the Chicago Bulls, but
yeah,
they got big shoes to fill. That's all I could say. Like, anybody who plays for Chicago, you're always going to be under that Michael Jordan light. You're always going to want to be living up to those standards. And can it ever be done again? Who knows?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll see, but moving right along.
So we got Bulls in 7 in the comments right now. This is
Prize being childish. He's being childish. Like, y'all have to stop. Y'all have to stop feeding the beast. He's being childish. Like, y'all gotta understand. Y'all gotta understand.
Anthony had to handle that. He said, "We don't want none of that nonsense from you."
Oh my gosh.
Wait, who's spewing nonsense, Anthony?
I think he's talking about Valdez. I'm pretty sure because they.
I'm sure
they're going at it right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, moving on to my what's gonna be my favorite subject of the show is Nets versus Celtics, guys. Now, granted, I'm gonna go last because I have a lot of things to say, but I'm going to go last. So I'm gonna propose it to you two like this, and whoever wants to go first, it doesn't even matter. I'm
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say Nets versus. I'm not even gonna say anything else. Just go ahead. Just go ahead. Because I'm so ready for this. Like, y'all don't even know. I'm so ready. Go ahead. I'm gonna sit here. Hold on. Let me adjust.
Just sit back.
She's wearing her jersey backwards, so it's a little uncomfortable.
I mean, it's very comfortable actually. It fits really nice. It's good. Go ahead. Anybody?
Go ahead, Jake. Take over, sis.
Can we first say that Kevin Durant is a fraud? Now, although we already know I hate Kevin Durant and I hate Kyrie Irving, but he's a player who got his championships off the backs of Steph Curry. I am waiting. I was waiting for Kevin Durant to be that guy, to be that player, to put the whole team on his back and carry them. You couldn't win one game. Against the absolutely fabulous Boston Celtics, but you couldn't win one game. You might have had 39 points last night, but you missed 18 shots that you should have made like this, okay? And then tell me, I'm a little confused, like how you, backpedal, because Kyrie was out last season, and then you were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and basically a shoe size away from going into the NBA Finals, right? You get Kyrie back, and last season he had a Harden, but Harden was injured too. He was hobbly. You get Kyrie back. Kyrie shows up and shows out in the first game, right, to quiet the Boston fans, so to speak, or not really, because he went off on them, they went off on him. Then you have Kyrie be dismal in games 2 and 3 with the 16 points and a 10-point. What just happened? I am ecstatic.
Good question, sister. Good question.
I couldn't be happier. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, you are frauds. Frauds, I tell you. You couldn't win one game.
How do you think James Harden is looking at this situation at Brooklyn right now? Do you think he's thinking like, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year with me without Kyrie, and this year they get swept with Kyrie, with Ben Simmons? I'll tell you one thing. I really thought in the beginning of that trade deadline when they decided to sign James Harden to the 76ers, and then they obtained Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, I really thought, and some draft picks, I really thought that Brooklyn was on top of that trade. I was like, oh, if Ben Simmons come back, everybody's been complaining how they haven't been able to play defense, how teams are averaging 135 points against them. So they really need a defense like dominance. And I really thought that was going to be Ben Simmons. And then with all that hoopla of, oh, I'm going to play in game 3. Oh, I'm going to play in game 4. Oh, I might play in game 5. Too late, Ben. What in the world? You were supposed to be a superstar at this point.
Them outfits look good on the bench, bro.
No. You what?
I said them outfits look good on the bench, bro.
Yo, go to New York. Go to New York and go to what is that? Fashion Month, whatever. Deal with that jazz. But I mean, does this at this point? I'm looking at Ben Simmons like, do you even want to play basketball anymore? Like, let's be for real. Like, you're saying that you want to play basketball, but you're proving to us time and time again that you really don't care about being an NBA player. Like, I don't know if at this point he's just worried. Okay, because let's be honest, ladies. Can you just imagine the hard time that the crowd is going to give Ben Simmons the moment that he steps on that court? They are not, I mean, I think the first time that he sat on the bench for the Brooklyn Nets, I can't even remember where it was at, but all they were chanting was, Ben Simmons sucks. Ben Simmons sucks. And he wasn't even playing. So I feel bad for the guy, but at this point, I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm tired of him being the conversation. I'm tired of him being in the headlines. I mean, I want to see some proof. I want to see your MRI. Does your back really hurt? Because, I mean, it's been over a year. And don't get me wrong. I've had back pains before. I've been in car accidents. When your back hurts, you don't even want to move your body. So I understand. But when I see you in shoot-arounds, when I see you having a great time, like, dude, you're gonna have to give us something. Give us 20 minutes. Give us 10 minutes. Come get one block and one dunk and then leave the game. Like, do something. I think at first I really thought the Brooklyn Nets won that trade, but it's evident that the 76ers obtaining James Harden was really all they needed. So Brooklyn Nets, blame Kyrie. Kevin Durant, yes, you did have 39 points last night, and you played like 46 minutes, but when it counted late in the fourth quarter, you couldn't get your shots off. I mean, he got one great three-pointer at the end, but it just wasn't enough. And let me tell you, Claxton missing 9 free throws. I stopped counting after that. He was 0-9 from the
so somebody other than LeBron missed free throws. Interesting.
Yo, somebody other than Ben Simmons was missing free throws. I don't know if being next to Ben Simmons on the bench was starting to rub off on him or what, but in a playoff game, if you are missing 9 free throws, that is not okay. Because just imagine, how much did they lose by? What was it, like 4 points or?
I think it was like 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah, just imagine if you would have made at least half of those free throws that you missed, you really would have helped your team out tremendously, and they could have got a win before heading to Boston and probably losing anyways. But
no, they couldn't have.
All in all, Steve Nash, I feel bad for you, dude, because I think you're in the hot seat after this season. But there's a lot of factors that go into play of why the Brooklyn Nets were not successful this year. So would I give Kyrie a long-term contract? Absolutely not. I have a feeling that he's going to opt out. He's going to ask for a trade, and he's going to be on his way. And honestly, to be real with you, I know the kid is talented as all hell, but I would not give him an extension. I would not give him $50 million a year because he cannot be trusted, and that's just the truth.
Real quick, mic drop real quick. Let me say thank you to Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart for holding it down while Jason Tatum got fouled out, right? It was a lot, you know what I mean? That's your best player. And Jaylen Brown,
I thought that was their chance. Yo, Scott Foster was like helping the Nets. Like, oh, we're gonna take Jaylen out of the game. Like, they were helping them. It went 2 minutes or something, and that still didn't do nothing.
It still didn't do that.
Are you ladies finished? Are you done?
I could go all night, but I know we
We're
only
ready
got an
for you.
hour.
We're ready for you.
So listen. A few things. Okay.
Shout out to Anthony that says that Kevin Durant is not a fraud. I didn't say it. He did.
Listen.
Hey, I'm sticking with what I feel.
Listen. A few things before I get just walk on this road with me real quick, okay?
Rock on the road.
First of all, I'm gonna start. I'm not even gonna start on KD. I'm gonna start with Steve Nash. Dear Brooklyn Nets, if you need somebody to just stand there and collect millions, holla at your girl. I'm free. Okay? Because at the end of the day, going to the sideline or being on the sideline and just hugging your star players is not being a coach. I don't know if anybody else knows this or has picked up on this, but that's not being a head coach. There were no adjustments made. There were no plays drawn up. There was no defense. There was no nothing. Steve Nash is along for the ride. Steve Nash he's a passenger driver. He's sitting in the passenger seat trying to give you directions. It's like, hold on, I got this. I'm the one driver. Sit back, fall back for a second. I got this. That is Steve Nash. Like, Steve Nash is the one homeboy that you know that is super hyped about the party that y'all about to go to, but he ain't got no ride. Like, that's Steve Nash, and he hoping that you be like, hey, homie, you can just hop in the car with me. Like, that's Steve Nash. So at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna start there because, and that was a KD hire, by the way, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Steve, like, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna start with him because at the end of the day, he's not a coach. He's a player personnel guy, which that was his original job in the Golden State Warriors, was a player personnel guy. He should have stuck with that. He's not meant to be a head coach, and it's really unfair that he even got an opportunity. And the only reason why he got an opportunity is because of Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant should be ashamed. Listen, I know he didn't really particularly care for Steve Kerr and how Steve Kerr coached the Warriors, or that wasn't conducive to what he was trying to do. But at the end of the day, Steve Kerr is a coach. Like, he's an actual coach. Like, he can draw up plays. He has strategy. He's very strategic. Sometimes he makes stupid decisions. Most coaches do. But he's a coach at the end of the day. Steve Nash isn't a coach. So that's your first mistake. Off Steve Nash. We're gonna focus on where the blame should lie. I'm gonna start it with this. Do not ever on God's green earth compare Kevin Wayne Durant to LeBron Ramon James ever again. And that is the reason why I'm wearing this jersey, because at the end of the day, when KD is called upon to lead a basketball team, he cannot do that. This is the second time, not the first. This is the second time he is flamed out in the playoffs before reaching the finals. Let me just make sure I said that for the people in the back. Before reaching the finals, flamed out twice. Do you know that in his last 8 playoff games, he's lost? Do we talk about that? For the last 4 to 5 years, I've had to listen to, oh, KD's the best player on the planet. He's the most unstoppable offensive force we've ever seen. Oh, he's better than LeBron. No, he ain't. He's proved it to you twice. And he's proved it to you in the last 8 to 9 playoff games. There's levels to this, and he ain't on that level. KD is an otherworldly talent. He's a great player. He's a top 75 player. Never take that away from him. He's not LeBron. He never has been LeBron. He never will be LeBron. He's not going to surpass LeBron. It's always going to be Bron, and it's going to be him. I don't care. Going to a team that won 73, that was 73-9 a year before you arrived and winning 2 championships, it's not impressive to me. You went to a team that won without you. They didn't need you. You just was a sure shot. You were just to make sure that if Steph and Clay are having an off night, we got another guy that can walk in here and drop 30 in his sleep. You went to the team that the year prior, you were up 3-1 upon and lost 4 games straight. And how well did you play? You went to go play with Steph, then you went to go play with Kyrie. You got swept with Kyrie. Did you ever get swept with Russ? And Russ was the blame in OKC, as far as we know, because you said you couldn't play with Russ. Am I lying? But you never got swept with him, especially not in the first round. You made the finals with him. You made the finals with Kyrie? Have you sniffed the finals with Kyrie? No. This is the team that you put together. You left a team where you got to play off ball, where they actually ran an offense. It was a lot of screens. It was a lot of, pick and rolls. for the most part, they had to pick their poison because they couldn't double Steph, they couldn't double you because y'all had options everywhere. You left that to go play with Dr. Sadie with a crossover. That's what you left. So I don't want to hear this whole he had to play 1-on-5 or he had to play one. This is the most offensive skill player that y'all, at least that's what y'all told me. And prior to this series, Tracy McGrady was on Shannon Sharp show and said that Kyrie and KD are two of the most skilled players as far as the duo in their prime that we have ever seen. Y'all couldn't win a game. The most skilled duo ever couldn't win the game. The most skilled duo got skillfully swept. That's what happened.
Yep.
So
and that's what attests to Steve Nash and his coaching abilities, because it's like you got superstars. You exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, you dropped the ball. You have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge, who didn't play because he was hurt. Patty Mills, who had a lot of finals experience, playoff experience, and you couldn't get the job done. Like I was telling Jay on her show last night, there was no offensive scheme. There was, let's give the ball to the best player
and watch them make something happen. Yes, and that's not gonna work. That it works in the regular season. It's perfect in the regular season. It's exciting in the regular season. When the playoffs come and you're being schemed for, this is the thing that I always say. People always they miss this part. Is that when you're getting schemed for in a 7-game series, it's completely different than you just playing somebody one time. Because anybody could shine in one game. I could jump in an NBA game and drop 20. But if you scheme for me for 7 games, more than likely I'm going to get exposed because I'm not. That's a completely different pressure. So it's like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear no excuses. This was supposed to be the team. This is supposed to be scary hours. This is supposed to be this, that, and the third. And you failed. You dropped the ball. When LeBron lost to the Suns last year, the slander was through the roof. It was through the roof. And he was injured half the season. AD was injured half the season. He didn't get a pass. He didn't get a walk through the park. It was, oh no, you're LeBron James. You're supposed to be the best player in the world. Why didn't you make that happen? Same with KD. If KD's otherworldly and the most skilled like you say he is, he could have got you one game. You waited until you were on the verge of being swept already to drop 39? He went 0 for 10 in the second half. Name me a time LeBron's done that. Mm-hmm. Name me a time. There was a second half after the game 3. In game 3 he had 11 shot attempts. You mean to tell me the greatest scorer that we've ever seen had 11 shot attempts in a critical game at home? And we're just supposed to be like, oh, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And don't even get me started on Dr. Sadie with a crossover. Because, sir, you decided you didn't want to get vaccinated. So I don't want to hear, well, the Celtics been jealous since Christmas. You could have been jealous since before Christmas, but you decided, which I'm not against that. That's your business. You decided you didn't want to get vaccinated. You decided that your beliefs was more important than the team. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And in game 1, when you were going off, it was, flipping the bird and this and all that. But then in the next couple games, it was, oh well, they got chemistry and oh well. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. You failed, bro. You failed, and you are partially possibly responsible for said failure. Kyrie is a skilled player, in my opinion. He's still he still should be on the top 75 list. I'm not gonna take that away from him because of this series. But we're not gonna sit up here and act like they didn't choke. And then Ben Simmons, bro, listen, if you want to be a model, my guy, go ahead and do that. Because at this point, that's what you're doing. You're sitting on the bench just modeling the outfits at this point. Like, Ben Simmons is the kid that, like when your mom would come home and be like, you need to do them dishes. You're like, oh, my stomach hurt. Your stomach really don't hurt, but you just don't want to do the dishes. That's Ben Simmons. You ain't really hurt, bro. You don't want the expectation. You are afraid of expectation. That's what it boils down to. It boils down to nothing else. You are not that hurt, bro, because you were all revved up and we gonna play, and then there was the potential of y'all getting swept in the actually, you know what? I think I slept wrong and I got a crook in my back. Man, shut up.
Scared, bro. He's scared. Ben Simmons.
Your back don't hurt to pick up a check. Your back don't hurt to put on all that expensive jewelry and put all the designer clothes. Your back don't hurt then. Why your back hurt now?
And I will say one thing. Wearing lamb? Really, dude? You a sheep in the herd and you wearing lamb right now on the sidelines? Boy, get out of here with that.
People already consider you soft and you wearing lamb. That's a soft texture. That's a soft texture. All I'm saying is this. Like I said, I wore this jersey for a reason. I know a guy that led less talent to the finals. He didn't have a top 75 player on that should be a top 75 player at least on his side and led him to the finals. Now, granted, they got swept by the San Antonio Spurs. I listen. It happened. He led a less talented team to the finals. I know a LeBron James who, even though he's played with other superstars, he was the unquestionable leader on that team. Can we confidently say that KD's the leader of the Brooklyn Nets?
No, and you know why? Accountability. He was not holding his teammates and supporting cast, even his coaching staff, accountable for anything that was going on. Yeah, okay, you want to talk nice to the media, put all the blame on yourself. No, Kyrie, you get mad, bro. You get mad. You puff out your chest. You let the locker room know that everybody's got to step up their game, and it's not just you that's making mistakes. It's everybody. It's a team sport. Why are you trying to take all the blame all on yourself? Hold your teammates accountable. Hold your best friend Kyrie accountable, who left you out in the dust for half the season. As a choice, as a personal choice.
And that's the thing.
There's no accountability in Brooklyn.
At all. And loyalty, everybody's like, oh, well, he's loyal and he's this. Listen, loyalty, you got to be smart with your loyalty. You got to be loyal to the right person. Be loyal to the people that are loyal to you. Kyrie ain't loyal to KD the same way that KD's loyal to Kyrie. And that's been proven throughout this entire season. Kyrie's gonna do Kyrie. Kyrie's gonna be Kyrie. He don't care about anybody outside of Kyrie. That's just that he can dress it up how he wants to and make it look good. But at the end of the day, Kyrie is concerned with what's in here, what's right in his chakras with Kyrie. Like that's all he's concerned about. He at the end of the day, if it's a situation where Kyrie don't feel like doing something or don't feel like playing or don't feel like being something, he ain't gonna do it. He's not gonna be that. He's gonna not play. He's shown us that. So it's like, how is this the guy that you're riding with? Say what you want about Russ, but Russ ain't gonna text you 5 minutes before the game. Hey, bro, I can't play right now because you know my mind ain't right. Like, come on, bro. Like, listen, I don't like to get into spiritual practices or people's mental health because I understand how serious that stuff is. But at the end of the day, when you are expected to do a job and you are getting paid millions of dollars to do said job, and people are accounting for you other than yourself, you have an obligation to that. It doesn't matter. You have an obligation to that. You have an obligation to step up and to be what they are asking and requesting you to be. Because at the end of the day, your mind may not be right and you don't want to play, but your mind is right to pick up that check. Your mind is right to go, you know what I'm saying, have all the luxury things that come with being an NBA player. So if that's the case, it goes hand in hand. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear no excuses. Like I said, if LeBron shot over 10, or if LeBron had a stretch of 3 games where he played as bad as Kyrie, I wouldn't even be on this show. Because the slander would be that bad because of the expectations. So why do these people get a cakewalk? If we're putting him in the same category, it should be the same. It should be the same criticism. Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I respect KD. KD is still a great player, but we're not finna just he had to go through so much and he had to shoulder so much. What did LeBron have to shoulder and go through? In Cleveland for a multitude of years before he went to Miami, and even after that, like what are we for real? Mm-hmm. Are we really serious right now? That's my whole thing. Like the expectation was for Brooklyn and the Lakers both had abysmal seasons. If you want to be honest, because Brooklyn wasn't supposed to be in the playoff game, and the Lakers were supposed to not even have an opportunity to be in the playoff game or play-in game. I'm sorry. So let's you know what I'm saying, keep it in perspective. Like they both had abysmal seasons, but like I said, I've had to listen to for 4 or 5 years that KD is the best player on the planet. Well, if you're the best player on the planet, then there's no reason for over 10. There's no reason for the very last game when you were already on the verge of getting swept that you finally get out of whatever shell you were in and be the player that we always knew you could be, or that you were supposed to be in the first 3 games. There's no reason for that. He had a 16-point game and an 11-point. But this is the most skilled, most unstoppable guy ever.
Right.
What happened?
So ladies, quick question. Who deserves to be at the helm of the blame game when it comes to Brooklyn Nets and their downfall? Because if you ask me, I think Kyrie is the number one person that you need to put your energy towards when it comes to figuring out what went wrong with the Brooklyn Nets. Because I'm telling you, you would have never got rid of James Harden. James Harden would have wanted to stay if somebody wasn't making such a big deal. Because I think what the biggest thing is, we were talking so much about Kyrie not playing basketball. That was the main topic throughout their whole regular season is, oh, Kyrie's not there. Right. Kyrie's not there. This Kyrie, this. And then he shows up at the end of the season and comes to a home game sitting in the front row and just completely disrespecting the whole entire organization. So when it comes to me, I think Kyrie should be the first person in that line when it comes to taking a slice of that blame pie when it comes to the Brooklyn's downfall. But that's on me. What do you ladies think?
Go ahead, Jay.
Kyrie didn't play this and that or whatever, but if Kevin Durant is supposed to be the leader that he is and the best player on the planet, you know what I mean? Again, I've been waiting for Kevin Durant to take a team, put the team on his back and carry them and will them through. And he did not do that. In the first 3 games, he didn't show up. He didn't. Like, oh, you had this game, but I still told you he missed 18 shots yesterday, although he had those 39 points. Like, he didn't. I need to see you be great. And ever since you went to a 73-9 team, I had no respect for you. I just don't. So I just wanted Kevin Durant to show up and be that player that he's been put on the same pedestal or better than LeBron James, and I just haven't seen it. Kyrie's, you don't know how I feel about Kyrie, and I kind of get on Sensei because that a couple weeks back we had the whole James Harden talk. I'm like,
you're right. Right.
Don't get me started. That's a whole other thing. But right. Kevin Durant, I needed to see him be that player. Like, Kyrie, you hit some good shots. You're always injured. You played that's his regular MO. Like, I mean, he's always hurt. You don't to me, I needed Kevin Durant to be that guy. Again, #fraudulent. Okay. And I'm sticking to that.
Kevin DeCannon.
Yeah, it's gotta start. It has to start with KD because at the end of the day, every decision that the Brooklyn Nets have made has been ran by KD. He'll never admit it, but it's the truth. He's the best player on that team. So whatever it is, as far as coach, personnel, players, trades, et cetera, all that stuff is being ran by KD. Yeah. So it has to start with KD because KD is the reason that Steve Nash is the coach of that team. KD is the reason that you know what I'm saying, Kyrie went to Brooklyn because he knew that if wherever Kyrie was gonna go, he was gonna go. KD is the same person that signed off on the James Harden trade to go to Philly. So it has to start with KD. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, the Mr. Quiet super, no, that's cap. Everything went through KD. So it has to start. He has to have the lion's share of the blame because he is the best player, and that's what comes with being the best player on the planet. Is that you have to take the lion's share of the blame because at the end of the day, there's a plethora of things that are wrong with the Lakers. But who was the most person that was slandered and who got the fair share of the blame? LeBron James did. Why? Because he's the best player on that team. So it has to be the same thing with KD. And then
Go ahead.
No, y'all go ahead, Ruth. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's like the same thing. How people are blaming Kevin Durant for bringing on this coach, bringing Kyrie. I mean, LeBron James had a chance to get DeMar DeRozan, who was actually very interested in playing in LA, which is he wanted to go back home, but he was already on the talks with Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony. They signed Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day deal. There was a lot of situations that LeBron could have really been like, you know what, guys. I'm here to play ball, and that's it. I'm not here to be the GM. I'm not here to be the coach. You guys orchestrate your roster. I'll let you know who I'd rather play with. But I think having your superstar have too much power is going to be the downfall of your organization because we don't see Jason Tatum telling the Boston Celtics who he want to play with, who they think they should sign, who thinks that they should get the max contract. Like, Jason Tatum is like, you know what? I'm here to work on my game. I'm here to ball, and that's about it. And that's going to be the success of Jason Tatum throughout his whole NBA career. But I will say one last thing on this topic right now. The Boston Celtics being the ones to sweep the Brooklyn Nets is just a great storyline and is a fairy tale ending for the Celtics organization, who's been wanting to put it to Kyrie ever since he left.
And just a quick little before we, go ahead and speed past this little topic here. I just would like the record to reflect that somebody played Jason Tatum outplayed the best player on the planet. That's what I saw. Blocked the shot quite a few times, scored in his face a plethora of times.
He's an animal. He's a beast, and he keeps getting better and better.
Is this
and if I'm not
changing of
mistaken, he's like 23 years old, 24.
He's 24.
He's a boy. We're gonna be seeing this from him for the next 10 to 12 years, and I'm here for it. I'm here with the popcorn. I've always been a low-key Boston Celtics fan because Doc Rivers and the big three back in the day. So I'm just really happy for Jason Tatum, and I honestly think that the Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics are probably going to be the Eastern Conference Finals, but that's on me.
Yeah, I think so as well. But moving right along, because I could talk about this all day. We're going to talk about,
which is okay because this is a big topic right now. Honestly, it is because it's the biggest topic because that. Oh, so I'm wrong. So right now, if Milwaukee defeats Chicago and obviously Boston, they're gonna So Boston Milwaukee is gonna be the conference finals.
That's gonna be a great freaking series. I am so ready for that. That's going to be amazing. Like, we got the young guns going. Oh my God, I'm so excited. That is basketball heaven for me. But moving on, so the Sixers and James Harden. Speaking of, because we talked about, we touched on him a little bit with the whole Brooklyn Nets situation, but what's going on? Like, they were supposed to close out Toronto 3-0. They lost. Then they came back home and lost by 15. James Harden had a typical James Harden playoff game. So are we on the verge of another Sixers/James Harden collapse? Like, is that what it's going toward? Because they collapsed last year, obviously, with Ben Simmons. Who, we all know what happened. I don't have to go there, but we all know what happened. So is this another ding on Doc Rivers' resume where another team has a big lead and they collapse again, or what y'all think?
I mean, as much as I love Doc Rivers, I mean, the numbers don't lie. When you're getting shut out, when you're this close to ending a series, I mean, I think it was like he was like 0 for 8 when it came to series he was about to sweep and then couldn't. So I don't know. I think the 76ers might be in a bit of trouble. I think what's really saving them right now is the fact that Fred VanVleet is hurt with that hip contusion. And I really thought that was going to be the deciding factor of whether or not the series was going to be closed out. But I don't know. Joel Embiid might not be enough. And I don't think we've seen enough from James Harden to be, just outright like, oh, the 76ers are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know. It's looking really iffy right now.
What you think, Jay? I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked. I was like, man, they're gonna close it out, and Toronto always has a special place in my heart. Drake's team is Drake, my husband. Hell no,
he said the Drake fan. The rest.
Jay, real quick. How many husbands do you have?
Drake's my number one though. Champagne Poppy, that's my boo. Okay. That's my boo. Okay. But
did you saw his video that went viral of him dropping shots and everybody was like, "Yo, they should have picked you over Kyrie."
What?
Yeah. Drake has been playing. Drake has been balling lately, and there's a lot of videos surfacing on the internet about it, and I'm here for it.
He falling. Let me ask this. Is it just me, or what are with the teams that have the players that were like in MVP conversations and not being able to like put it down? Like, and be like, what are you doing right now? Right. They don't have Fred VanVleet. I'm looking at the game. I'm watching the game like, who? Okay. Besides Pascal, but I'm like, who? I mean, you have people like, this should not be happening right now. The Raptors should not be beating the 76ers. How is this happening? What is going on? And whether we could say, is this, again, would you say Doc Rivers 0-8 when he's supposed to sweep, when he should be sweeping? Why are you giving the Raptors any sign of life? Why are you doing this? You should go and put them to bed and be ready for the next matchup. You should be resting right now. You should be at home working out, waiting for waiting for your next competition, who will end up being, Miami's going to end up being Atlanta. You should be at home waiting for them right now. How have you let the Toronto Raptors creep back in and get signs of life? You know what I mean? We're sitting here, hey, they were the NBA champions a few years ago, so they still have that fight in them and this winning mentality. So I mean, if to be honest, I would root for Toronto, and I want Toronto to actually beat Philly. James Harden and Joel Embiid's great. He's great, but I'm not like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I would love for them to actually upset the 76ers. I don't think that's going to happen, but the fact that you let them get these 2 games, like, I'm just like, wow. Like, wow, Embiid, you were supposed to be MVP caliber. You should have been putting them away. Doc Rivers, what are you doing as a coach? So hopefully, in the next game, they can go ahead and put them away and put them to sleep. But I am just shocked, to be honest. Just that's really all
I think they're getting out coached.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. This is a typical Doc Rivers performance. This is a typical James Harden performance. James Harden, unfortunately, he is exceptional in the regular season, but his playoff history has led us to this. Like, this is who he is. This is just who he is. He's not a great player in the playoffs. He's just not. Like, when the lights are the brightest and he's supposed to live up to an expectation, he doesn't. He does. Show me a time.
Can we even? James Harden right now is not James Harden. Whether we can say he flamed on the playoffs, this is Embiid's team. James Harden is a big name right now. They were like, "Oh, it's James Harden," but I just feel like he's a role player, to be honest. Like, I don't even feel like
at this point in his career,
right. Like this, and even last year, like with the Nets, like I said, Kevin Durant did all of that. Harden was hobbly, still hurt. Like, I can't even say it's because Harden flamed out. Like, I don't even think that. I think Harden right now is a role player, but he has the big name of James Harden. So we're like, oh, but really,
whose fault is that? Whose fault is it that he has the big name?
He's been great, but he hasn't been great of late. Like, I don't expect, like, right now, if they were if Philly was blowing out Toronto, I wouldn't be like, oh, it's because James Harden. Like, that's not I'm like, oh, James Harden just happens to be on the 76ers. That's it. Like,
but okay. True.
I think James Harden's best years were when he was with Houston, and now he's coming to the end of the cliff, and he's getting older.
It's a situation where James Harden is that he never took serious the parts that we don't see, the off the court stuff, like the workouts in the off season, the keeping your body in shape, the making sure that when you come back to training camp the following year, that you are already ready in tip top shape. James Harden has never come back to a training camp in shape. He's always had to work himself into shape because he's out partying, he's out, doing him, living life. That's fine, but you don't get to sit with the LeBrons and the KDs doing that. Like, you have to invest in yourself, invest in your body. The way you eat, the way you train. James Harden has never done that. Ever since Houston gave him that bag. When he left OKC and pretty much gave him the keys to the franchise, he was like, I'm cool, I'm coasting. Like, I got my own squad. They're going to give me everything that I want, and I'm good. I don't think he realized how good he had it in Houston. Honestly and truly, I think it's a kind of like a KD situation. Unfortunately,
he's
like,
a rehab now. He's just
and that's the part that sucks, because now, like, as great of a talent as he is, you've been, kind of recluded to ring hopping and ring chasing, all because you didn't make the proper decisions, and like I said, you didn't take the time or the effort to make sure that you were a top caliber player by the time, like I said, the regular season started. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's always had to work. He's always had to do the extra work in the season because he's had to work himself back into shape, because he don't take it that serious once the offseason is over. It's over with.
The last season in Houston, because he wanted to be out, right? These last two, like I said, he's already deteriorated. Like this, he is no longer the James Harden of James Harden. Yeah, he didn't, get it done in the playoffs in their closest time, again, when they could have beat the Warriors. CP3 gets hurt, and I really feel if CP3 hadn't got hurt, they would have beat the Warriors. But, like, yeah, these last 3 years, like, clearly he's let himself go. I would never, when we had our whole debate about him and Kyrie, I'm like, yeah, not James Harden now, not James Harden in the last 3 years. If you look at stats for stats and everything that he has. He has more accolades than Kyrie. Kyrie just hit that one big shot with LeBron James on his team. If you would have put Harden with a prime Harden with a LeBron James, like either way, to me, the 76ers collapse is about Doc Rivers and Embiid. I'm just like, oh, James Harden just happens to be on the 76ers team. So it's not an indictment on him if they lose this. It's just not, because he's not the James Harden of old. He's the James Harden of new.
Right. It's like, what's new? The James Harden is on a team that doesn't make it to the NBA Finals. We're used to that already. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, we got to stop putting these superstars on such a pedestal, like they can do nothing wrong, that they could, we're giving these players too much power, and it's fizzling out for these organizations that are handing out these bags. So I really think these NBA playoffs are opening eyes to a lot of, the GMs and the owners of these organizations.
Yeah, we got to start classifying people in their proper categories, because there's a difference between superstar and very good. And I think sometimes the lines get a little bit blurred with very good and superstar. Like James Harden is very good.
He's very good now.
He's very
superstar. Don't do it like what?
Okay, but all the people that we classify as superstars perform well in the playoffs. They do. They do.
That's why they call him regular season James Harden.
Hold on. Whether he got to the second round, third round, whatever, and not winning a championship. Kevin Durant never win a championship until he was jumped on a 73-19, though.
It's not even the rounds that he got to, but it's not even the rounds that he got to. It's the fact that in those, even the rounds that he got to, he didn't play well. Like he flamed out. Like he was non-existent.
3-1 up.
And I'm with you. They both, yes, but has Kevin Durant not atoned for that though? Granted he played with the Warriors, but he still played great after that flame out. James Harden has had multiple flame outs, and he's never improved.
The last 3 years, James who? Yes. After the series with the Warriors, right, with the CP3 and then him and CP3 got into it again, emotions, feelings, all of that.
Yeah.
I respect James Harden's talent, the old James Harden, but I mean, was he a superstar? Yes. Your MVP winner was not a superstar. Like, come on, Sensei. We're not gonna get into this again. We don't.
Yeah, that was like
next.
We'll be here all day if we
shout out to Anthony Price that says James Harden is eating too many cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. That could be the reason, because the boy loves to eat. We all know that.
They gotta stop sending him to food cities, man. They gotta send him somewhere where the food is like trash and it's not no good. They need to
go to Milwaukee.
No, seriously. So speaking of next up, we'll go to the next subject really quick here. Is Ja Morant being exposed? Because Ja Morant hasn't been playing the greatest in this series. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies, they talk a lot. They're very confident young team, but he hasn't been playing particularly well. Yeah. And they're kind of in a dogfight with the Minnesota Timberwolves, which a lot of teams thought that this was going to be. A lot of people thought, not teams. A lot of people thought this series was going to be a wash between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So what are we thinking, ladies?
I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing great defense, and they really understand that as long as Ja Morant doesn't have the ball, we can win these games. So they are young, they're talented, but they're very young, which means that you see a lot of mistakes. I don't know if you guys really see how many turnovers both of these teams are having. They are playing some sloppy basketball at times, but I think that all attests to their immaturity when it comes to playing in these big time games, playing on the playoff stage is a lot. I mean, Ja Morant almost got taken out by a protester the other day. Like there's a lot going on. There's a
shout
lot
out to that security guard though.
Yes, shout out to that security guard. You should come play for the Dallas Cowboys, because boy, the way you took that woman out so quick. We need some of that energy over here with Micah Parsons. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, isn't it? That stuff is crazy. And I'm like looking into it about one of the owners of Minnesota or the Grizzlies. I can't even remember right now, that he like killed a whole bunch of chickens. So they're these animal activists protesters. I don't really know if you guys can fill me in
wow.
on any more details on that, but they're just it's getting too crazy. If you're paying $15,000 to get a sideline seat to just run out in the court and get tackled like that and then go to jail, I mean, all power to you. You must have really high standards for whatever protester you're trying to protest out there. But back to the Memphis Grizzlies in Minnesota. This is going to probably go to a game 7. I really think that it has to do with a lot with immaturity with these two teams and their lack of experience in the playoffs. I know John Morant was talk of the town all throughout the regular season, but it's really about how you pan out in the playoffs. And if they lose in the first round to the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's going to really be a really bad look on John Morant. And I'll just hope that he comes back next year ready to fight.
Yeah. Wow, I was not ready for that last line. Honestly, the thing of it is that Ja isn't there yet, and that's just what it boils down to. Like he definitely has improved a lot. He's definitely on the radar. He's definitely treading up, but he's just not there yet. Like I think he needs another year or so to kind of hone in his game a little bit more. He needs to definitely become a better shooter because it's not reliable enough to where it needs to be accounted for or where that teams fear it. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things like he can have a night where he can go off and he can also have a night like the other night where he wasn't even all that good. He wasn't even great. I can't even say he was great. He wasn't even all that good. So, like I said, he's just not there yet. And the Memphis Grizzlies as a team, because they're a really, really young team, and I don't think people really realize just how young that team is. Like they don't really have a lot of veteran guys or veteran presence on that team. And I mean, I do believe that they still get out of this series. I think it probably goes 6 games, maybe 7. But at the end of the day, like they're gonna have to deal with a Golden State Warriors team where you cannot make a single mistake against that team. Not a single one. Like you can afford to make mistakes against the Minnesota Timberwolves because they're not that great of a team either. Because they're still a young team that's on the rise as well. But you cannot afford a mistake against the Golden State Warriors. Not a single one, because they have enough. They are veteran savvy. They've been there before. They know what it takes to win. And for every punch that you throw, they got 2 more punches to throw back at you. So you got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared for that. But I don't think that they're ready. I don't think that they're there yet. I thought it was premature that people had them in the finals because it's like, they got to go, like, come on, man. Like, it ain't, they either got to go to State or the Phoenix Suns. They're not.
Yeah, and we're talking about, like, professional NBA and analysts that were saying, oh, John Morant
like,
to the
and
finals.
I'm
And I
like,
said, hold your horses,
what?
guys.
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
don't be disrespecting my Golden State Warriors like that. Like, don't be doing that.
Wait a minute. Your Golden State Warriors, man?
I mean, yeah, my Clippers ain't in it anymore, so I got to root for somebody.
So your other California team?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I met Steph Curry. I got to cover an Orlando Magic and Golden State game, so I got to meet Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, all of them. So yes, and I mean the way that they play, the consistency that they play at is just, I mean, you got to admire it. So I give them all the respect. They're not my team because they're not my go-to. So I apologize for using the word my. But if I had to choose right now what team is coming out of the West, I'm putting my money on Golden State.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair because I was like, your Golden State boy.
Okay, keep me accountable, Alana. I like it. Keep coming, girl. I love it. I love the fire. I love the fire.
You ever say, y'all know I'm petty. Y'all know I'm petty.
I mean, wait, we're gonna be petty. I mean, somebody was John Morant's biggest fan, huh? And I was like,
I'm an honest fan. Listen, I am still. I just know that my boy ain't there yet. He's not ready. He just said he premature. He, you know what I'm saying? He went behind the ears still. It's all good. You know, he gonna be all right. But he just not. He not there yet. I mean, speaking of teams coming out the West, honestly, I'm glad that you segued it that way, Ruth, the truth, because now all of a sudden, since Luke is back, everybody there's been this. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to sports media lately, but
Dallas to the finals.
Listen. I just want everybody to slow down. Let's just take a few deep breaths. Let's relax. I don't know if, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like we gotta do some breathing exercises because the media. This is the irritating part about the media. Is this like prisoner of the moment mentality? Like if somebody has a good game, somebody does something good, they're better than Jordan, they're better than Bron, they're better than Kobe. They're gonna be the second coming to Jesus. Like what are we doing here? Like I don't understand this. And then it's just like, oh well, Luka's back, so Dallas is going to the finals. No, they're not. No, they're not. They should have swept the Utah Jazz. They're still. I mean, they're 3. What is it? 3-1
3-2.
Okay, so it's 3-2. There's no reason they should be 3-2 with the freaking Utah Jazz.
Yo, give my boy
down. Hey,
come on now.
So
you really thought Dallas was gonna go in there and sweep? You gotta remember, Luka was out the first 2 games that Dallas won, and then the first game back, that was when they lose to Utah. You gotta put some respect on Rudy Gobert, as well as Donovan Mitchell supporting cast. I think it's going to go to a game 7 between these two teams. I do want to see, I got to look into Donovan Mitchell's injury because he did leave the game with a hamstring issue, I think to his right hamstring. And he did get an MRI today. And I heard that it came back negative for anything too serious. So that's definitely going to be a testament to their success in that series. But Luka Doncic is just an incredible basketball player. And he's going to fight to the end. And Jason Kidd has been a head coach in the league for quite some time now. So he's getting a little bit of experience under his belt. So I have it going to a game 7, but I will say Dallas Mavericks will win that series.
They will hands down win that series. Hands down they will win that series. Utah, great team. But look, I watched.
But the question is now.
Like Luka, man, I could see them if Phoenix still doesn't have Devin Booker and whoever comes out that series, because it's being iffy right now with Phoenix in New Orleans, I could see Dallas going to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying they go into the NBA final, but I'm saying I could see them making it. I could see them making it there.
Whoa! Because if we look at the bracket real quick, okay, so if Dallas trumps Utah, which we were expecting that they're going to go up against the Phoenix Suns or the New Orleans Pelicans, which either one of those teams, with Devin Booker being out for the Phoenix Suns, I do have the Dallas Mavericks being able to win in the conference semifinals, going up against the Phoenix Suns without a Devin Booker and a New Orleans Pelicans team that is a very young and unexperienced playoff team. So yes, if that is true, if they go up against the Pelicans, if they go up against the Phoenix Suns without a Devin Booker, I do have the Dallas Mavericks going to Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors. All right, I'm done.
Like, all right, and I'm done, and that's it.
And I'm done. Well, yeah, I mean, I could see Dallas going to the semifinals. I do think that they could beat Phoenix if they don't have Devin Booker. If they have Devin Booker, then it's over with. Like they're not going to advance past them. It's going to be to me, it's going to be probably Phoenix and Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, which is going to be so exciting, so much fun. But I don't know who I got coming out the West, man. Because it's easy to say that the Warriors are the end all be all ultimate favorite right now, but they are going against a different Denver Nuggets team who don't have their second best player, and they're relying on Jokic and Aaron Gordon. And on God's green earth, would you think Aaron Gordon could be? No disrespect, but let's keep it like, come on, man. Like,
sorry, babe.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's fine too, by the way. But
yes, he is.
I'm just happy that Jokic was able to manifest one win, because you can't be in the MVP and then your team.
Somebody
they're beating the 6th seed, and injuries. But I'm saying, like, if you're the MVP of the league, you're on this team. You should, man. But
at least one MVP got to win in the series. We can't say the same for another.
Yeah, that would be pretty embarrassing if both players that were in the MVP conversation get not swept, but get beat in the first round of the playoffs. So
no. Not just get beat.
Well, the Nuggets won a game, so they're not going to get swept because they were able to sneak a game from Golden State. And then the 76ers, I mean, I'm not talking about anybody from Brooklyn because I don't remember Kyrie or Kevin Durant being in the MVP conversation.
Clearly.
Because Kevin Durant missed a lot of games and then Kyrie decided not to play half the game. So definitely was not deserving to be in the conversation. Between Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, which was, I think, top 2 runner-ups in the conversation for MVP, it would be, I guess, a little punch to their legacy if both of them got beat in the first round of the playoffs. And that's why they decide an MVP before they go into the playoffs. They do a regular season MVP and then obviously a finals MVP. So for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing shots to be petty because that's just what I do.
But she's wearing a LeBron James jersey, so that she's starting to become LeBron herself.
Absolutely. I have to speak for my boy because he's on vacation, enjoying his Lobos tequila as he should. And he called me. He said,
"As he should." No, Alana, you want to say that he should be playing in these NBA playoffs right now?
No. I mean,
hold him accountable.
He should definitely be playing in the playoffs. But I mean, if you will not be in the playoffs, I don't want you soaking in the dark with the curtains drawn. Like I want you to be.
I want him eating ice cream. I want him crying on his Instagram live.
No,
I don't want showing these emotions.
Because at the end of the day, KD made it to the play. Everybody's like, well, at least KD made. That's fine. He got swept. But the first thing he did when he got back to his Instagram was post some shade to Charles Barkley. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he did post 2 pictures about Charles Barkley being on the Rockets because Charles Barkley said KD wasn't the bus driver; he was just along for the ride. I mean, facts is facts, KD. Like you can post that all you want to, but facts is facts. You're not the bus driver; you along for the ride, my guy. I'm just saying, because since you left the Golden State ride, it's been
I know. I bet Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green are.
They gotta be giggling. They gotta be giggling.
Looking at KD like, boy, you messed up.
Listen. I know their group chat was off the chain last night. I know their group chat was booming.
Did you guys see that Draymond Green, after the Brooklyn Nets got swept last night, he posted on his personal Twitter a whole bunch of laughing emojis, and everybody suspected that he was laughing at KD, but then he wanted to come back and be like, why did y'all assume that I was just laughing that the Brooklyn Nets got swept? Being honest, Draymond, you was laughing because of that. Don't even, come on now. We know you're Draymond Green, you're King Petty, you've been wanting to stick it to KD for the longest, and now you had your opportunity, so you know for damn sure that tweet was about him.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's just be real. Like, be honest. Like, good and god darn well that everybody was going to put 2 and 2 together and make it equal 4. So you were talking about KD, and you just didn't want to be held. You didn't want your feet held to the fire. But it was ironic of the timing of the laughing emojis and KD being swept. Like, you had to know that people were going to put that together and like, oh, look at Draymond. He's talking stuff about KD and da-da-da. Come on, man. Like, I don't doubt that he has respect for KD or that he has love for KD, because let's keep it 1,000%. He would not be a 3-time champion without Kevin Durant. That is a fact. I don't care what he say, what Steph say, what anybody else say. If KD does not come, and if Draymond don't cry in the parking lot after the 2016 finals when they got beat in their house in Game 7, and KD doesn't come to the Warriors, he's not a 3-time champion. I don't care what nobody says, and he know that. So the fact that you could do that and then be like, oh, well, why would you think I'm talking? Come on, bro. Like, ain't nobody stupid. Ain't nobody dumb.
We pay way too close attention.
Listen, it's okay if you was laughing at him, just say that. Yeah, I was laughing. It was a million freaking people laughing at him. I was one. Hell, I had a good time with KD losing last night. And it's okay.
I was music to my ears.
I was saying, I didn't want to see them get swept because I don't want this to be a conversation of, oh, this is gonna tarnish KD's legacy. Like, honestly, like, I'm looking for KD. I love the way the man plays. The heart and the respect that he has for his mother can go a very long way.
For sure.
I did not want to see him get swept, because I just know that that's always going to be the topic of conversation when it comes to discussing Kevin Durant's legacy. Now, oh well, he got swept by the Boston Celtics when he had Kyrie healthy. So I don't know. I didn't want to see it happen because, I mean, it's really embarrassing to get swept in the playoffs.
I did want to see it happen. I did.
Me too.
Well, somebody's got to think differently on this show. We can't all think the same thing. This is a debate show.
Already tarnished from jumping out of 73 and 9 team. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't mad about it. I wasn't mad about it.
I'm sure
everybody else was so upset, but I'm like, yo,
I'm sure you were.
Who wouldn't want to go play with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and have a coach like Steve Kerr? Who wouldn't in their right mind? He wanted to get out of the mess of OKC. He was running from Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry, I can't say his name without saying brick anymore. He was running for the hills. I mean, going to a team. Whatever. I wasn't mad about it.
That's fine.
Entertaining. I needed some competitive. I needed some competitiveness. Yeah, competitive.
That was competitive
because LeBron had no competition.
That was,
of course, you're gonna put together a superstar team.
This is worse than anything LeBron James ever did. LeBron James was nothing.
Katie joined,
and before we say all the big three in Miami, let's go back to 08 Celtics, right? With Ray Allen, The Truth, Kevin Garnett. What about when Gary Payton and Karl Malone hopped on the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, and they were past their prime, but they were ring chasing. Like, this was not the first. And I'm sorry, I can't even think of his name right now. I want to call him. I don't want to disrespect him. What's the other dude for Miami? I can't. To me, he didn't really do him. Bosh wasn't to me.
Yeah, Chris Bosh was soft, bro. Chris Bosh was so soft.
Come on!
He was riding Dwayne Wade's coattails.
Oh my God! What?
Don't get me started. Like,
first of all, let's just what am I listening to right now? Like, I am
the sports senseis on ASAP Network.
I am mind blown because listen, it's like Katie. Who wouldn't want to play with Steph and Clay? Well, this is the same Katie. I don't know if you guys recall, but I do. A couple years prior, it's like, why does he tweeted? Matter of fact, why does everybody want to join the Lakers and the Heat? What happened to competition? What happened to going at these people? And you are the same guy that went to the same team that beat you, that came back from 3-1 and beat you, and you played terrible, and they won 73 freaking games before you showed up, and you went to that team. No. I don't care what nobody says. LeBron going to Miami that pales in comparison to KD going to a team with two of the greatest shooters of all freaking time. On top of that, KD joined the Avengers. LeBron James showed up to the finals next year with the Power Rangers. That's quite the freaking difference. It's quite the difference.
And as soon as LeBron left Miami, they didn't even make the playoffs.
Listen, Kevin Love, and I'm sorry with the truth, this probably might hurt your feelings, but Kevin Love runs slower than Tom Brady.
Yeah, he does.
He was a liability when the Cavs played against the Warriors again that following year after they won the championship. He was a liability. He was food. He was barbecue chicken falling off the bone. He was not even a factor at that particular point. So competitiveness missed me with that.
Yeah.
And on top of, listen, Chris Bosh he's not a LeBron, he's not a D Wade. But to say that he was nothing, come on, man.
That very last game that they won, he didn't even 20 points in the finals, dude. He was
yeah, you can't go scoreless in the finals. You can't. Not when you're racking up 31 minutes in a game. No.
True indeed, but you got you're playing true indeed, but you're a third option with two of the best scorers in the league. Mm-hmm. That's a very
scoreless.
Scoreless is
a dunk.
Yeah.
You couldn't get out of you.
I just like you couldn't get no.
Offensive rebound.
Put back. Show. That's why I couldn't even remember his name. We are totally.
All right, guys. I apologize. We're turning off topic. We're supposed to be talking about NBA playoffs. We're talking about some throwback games right now. I apologize. Thank you so much for sticking with us on the Sports Sensei. We're going way back right now.
We are. Y'all just honestly, y'all just broke it down to me. That y'all right, because I could have scored a point on that Miami team. So I mean.
You could score one.
Literally, LeBron could have kicked it to me. I could have knocked down a quick little mid range. I could have. You feel me? Hey, all right, man. Y'all right. But that was that. Listen, that's gonna wrap up the Sports Sensations for this week. This show was amazing. It's always amazing, but it was really great today with my good sis Ruth the Truth, of course, and Jay Nicole. Man, make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jay, go ahead and plug your social medias real quick. And then
follow me on social medias at Janae Nicole J. Check out Sports by Numbers Monday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's on 9:30 a.m. The Answer and ASAP Network.
All right, guys, thank you so much for kicking with us on the ASAP Network. Shout out to all the family. We appreciate you guys sticking in. All the great comments that were flowing in. Keep those coming every Tuesday night. We love the energy. We love the conversation. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Root the Truth with 3 H's at the end, and Root the Truth 1 on Instagram. I will give you a follow back. If I don't, send me a DM. And yeah, I appreciate you guys staying locked in. We got the NFL draft coming this weekend. So next Tuesday, we will definitely have some draft conversation to discuss. But that's all for us, folks. Sensei,
hold on real quick. Yes, real quick. I just want to say something really, really fast before we close this thing all the way out. If everything goes well, fingers crossed, I may be in some media rooms in the NBA soon. I'm just saying.
Congratulations.
I'm just saying. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So y'all be on the lookout for that. But again, like I said, one shot. Make sure y'all tune into the Sports Sensays, and tune into my girl with the Truth. She's got a plethora of stuff going on right now. She's always covering something new. So y'all got, and she be out here popping on the low key. She be trying to play it cool on the Sports Sensei, but Ruth the Truth be living life, okay? I just gotta follow Ruth the Truth and see what be going on. And then of course,
follow me on Snapchat. I post everything on Snapchat. You're gonna be like, yo, you in a different country every week. What the heck is going on? And I'm
wait
like,
a minute, Ruth the Truth. I didn't even know you had a Steve. We gotta talk because I didn't even know you had a
Ruthie is on Snapchat. Ruthie.
Yeah, honestly, really, listen, y'all really need to follow me this weekend because I'm gonna be at Soul Bloom, a little 2-day festival, and it's popping. But anyway, thanks y'all for tuning in to Sports Sensays. We'll see y'all again next Tuesday for the hottest NBA news and the sports news period in the world. Also, and real quick, also before I leave too, tomorrow I have a WNBA show with myself as well as Megan Price as well as Mike Hughes. So make sure that y'all tune into that. That'll be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the ASAP Network. That'll be every Wednesday. So make sure I'll be on the lookout for that. But
yes,
that's another.
Megan Price is a dime, so you're gonna have a lot of fun. This woman is super knowledgeable. So make sure everybody is tuning in every Wednesday night on the ASAP Network. Real quick, ladies, Atlanta Hawks or Miami Heat tonight? What we got?
Ooh, good one. Jay, you go first.
Atlanta.
I got Miami. Okay, Timberwolves, Grizzlies.
I'm gonna go Miami too as well, Ruth. I'm gonna go Grizzlies tonight because I think
I got Timberwolves tonight.
Oh, Grizzlies.
All right,
ladies. Well, yeah, let's keep in touch in the group chat and see what's popping. We'll see if our predictions is right. But that's another episode. Yeah, we out of this thing. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a great night.